Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make a pendant to match these little weird wire wrapped earrings that I did. So I really like these. I thought they turned out very kind of funky and just very cool. But we're going to make a matching necklace to go along with these. Now I'm making these products using, or these jewelry pieces using products from the Bargain Bead Box February 2021 edition called Spring Rain. Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription box. It's delivered straight to your door every month for $17.98 a month, and with your subscription, you get access to their sister store, but you get access to a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store. I'm not going to say because anybody can shop in their store, but if you subscribe, then you get that coupon all the time. You can use it over and over all month long. So if you want to subscribe to Bargain Bead Box, I have a coupon code that'll get you $2 off of your first box. It's Wendy2, it's all one word. If you don't want to subscribe, but you just want to shop in their store, you can use my coupon code and it'll get you $2 off of your purchase. So I'll put the links in the description box below for all of that. But again, here is the earring, and we're going to make the matching necklace to go along with this today. So if you want to make this, what you're going to need is one of the Crackle Agate pointed pendant pieces from your box this month. I have got some small fire polish beads, some 4mm fire polish. I'm using the tiny apatite beads that were in the box this month. And then I have some larger 8mm fire polish beads here. I have these wavy spacers, and these are so cool. I love these. If you're interested in them, they are on my website right now. I don't know how long I'll have them because I don't have a whole bunch left. But those are really cool. We're going to use those on the necklace. And then I've got some 2mm silver spacers. These are on my website as well. I have some crimp beads. I have 3 large jump rings. I believe they're 12mm. I have 2 6mm jump rings. And I forgot to get out my lobster clasp, so I'm going to grab that. There's a lobster clasp. I have some Coriana chain here. Okay, I've got about, let's say this is about 24 inches cut. You're going to need 2 clamshell covers, which I also forgot to get out. So if I can find them, where are my clamshell covers? I'm telling you. Oh, they're probably in one of these trays over here. My room is an absolute disaster at the moment. See if I can find my clamshells. Bear with me for just a minute here. Alright, where in the world are they? Sorry guys, oh, here they are. I have stuff set out to do tutorials, like in trays, and half of my supplies are in them. So, anyway, here, I found my clamshells. There they are. You're going to need 2 of those. So, sorry for that. I thought I was very well organized, but obviously I wasn't. You're going to need a small piece of, this is 22 gauge wire, and then you're going to need a longer piece of, this is 28, I think, 28 gauge wire. Okay? So, and this may be 32 gauge. I don't know. It's very thin. I can tell you that. But I'm not a very good person with wire, so I'm sorry. But I'm not sure what the gauges are because I no longer have the labels on the spools. They're just spools like this. So they don't have a label on them. I have no idea. Okay, so anyway, if you want to make this necklace, get your stuff together and we will get right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our pendant piece. Now I want to give credit. I found this technique. Yvonne Williams does it, and it is an alternate briolette wrap. So I wanted to use it because this is flat on top. It's not pointy like a normal briolette, and I was having trouble getting a wire wrap to go up here. So this is a really cool technique. I'm assuming she invented it, but I watched her tutorial and that's what I'm using for this. So it's really cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your little wire here. You're going to take your round nose pliers. Now you can go as far up as you want. It just depends on how big you want your loop to be. I'm going to go about midway right there. And then you're just going to start twisting. Actually, I need to twist this way. you're going to start twisting and you're making a little coil. Okay, so see this? You're going to go around till you have 2 complete little wraps, just like that. And it's just making a small coil. Let me flatten them down a little bit and tuck in that little scraggle right there. Okay, then you're going to put your piece on, so right like this. And I have cut way too much wire. I'm not a very good gauge. I don't have a very good gauge of how much wire to cut. I'm learning. I'm not, very experienced with wire wrapping. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off right about here. I think that should do it. And then you're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, I want to make them both point up. So see how this one's pointing up? Just like that. I want to make sure that this one points up. So I'm just going to roll it the same way. You can flip your pliers and just make the same little coil. Yeah, there we go. Okay, until you've got these 2 little, they look like little ram's horns. That's what she called them. Okay, just like that. And that's what we want. Okay, so now you're going to take your really thin wire and we're going to take it and we're just going to wrap it around one of our ram's horns about 3 times. So we got, and this is fiddly. It's kind of hard to do. So I'm trying to hold my ram's horn so it doesn't move. Hold my wire so it doesn't move. There we go. And wrap. And you just go around about 3 times. You're just securing it. That's all you're doing, is securing it to the piece. Okay? I'm just going to cut this little piece off and then we'll worry about tucking that in later. Okay, and now I'm just going to start wrapping. So I'm going to go around 1 wrap here like that. And then I'm going to add on some beads. So I'm going to put on a fire polish bead, one of these teeny little blue apatite beads, and it's about impossible to find the holes on these. I was hoping I could just kind of scoop one on there, but it's not going to work. So let me see if I can find a hole in one of them. These are so tiny. They're beautiful, but they are so tiny. There we go. And then I'm going to drop them down to the bottom of my wire. Where'd my apatite bead go? There he is. Okay, I'm going to bring him to the front where I want him to sit, and then I'm just going to come up, kind of hold them and wrap around the other ram's horn here. And you can kind of scoot them to the front. Okay, then I'm going to wrap around again. Come back to the front here and add on some more beads. So this time I'm going to add on a spacer, another of the little apatite beads, and a fire polish. Okay, let them fall. And push them back around to the front. And then just hold them in place where you want them and then just wrap. Now, sometimes it helps, this is what I've been doing, to go back up through one of these beads. So I'm going to go back through this little spacer with my wire and just pull tight. And it just seems to help kind of anchor things in place. Okay, and then I'm going to go around the ram's horn again and back and around. And you can wrap completely around and then add another group of beads if you want. I'm going to go underneath this wire that I just put around there. And when I go underneath them or through a bead, it's just to kind of secure things on there a little bit. It just does help to make things a little tighter. Okay, I'm going to put on a fire polish bead, a spacer bead. Come on now. I've even got my glasses on and I still can't see. And a fire polish bead. Okay. So there we go. And I'm going to hold them where I want them to go and just wrap around again. And I might go up and around the ram's horn again, and then back down and around. And you can do this however you want to do it. I mean, it is totally your own creative control. No two are ever going to look the same. If you can get two to look exactly the same, I would be so impressed, because it just kind of goes the way it goes. The wire kind of just goes the way it wants to go. Now, maybe some people are better at controlling it. I'm sure lots of people are better at controlling it than me, but I just kind of have to do what it makes me do. So, until I get better at wire wrapping. So, I'm just going to lay those on there, go up and back around these things again, and this is what I do. I just kind of wrap around and through. I'm going to put on, let's see, let's go down here and around, and I'm just going to put on some more beads. And I'm just going to do this until I feel like that I've got all the beads on there that I want. And I'm not going to worry about wrapping anything on the back, because, you know, you're not going to see the back anyway, hardly. And yeah, I'm just worrying about wrapping in the front. So there's a couple more. Now when you get down here to the bottom, it gets a little bit loose. So you're going to have to kind of anchor it. So what I do is I'll put a few beads on, wrap around, and then I'm going to go back through the beads that I just put on. I hope I'm on frame. I think I might have been off. I'm sorry. So I'll put those beads on, I wrapped around, and I'm going to go back through the beads that I just put on. Well, maybe. I went through the fire polish and then it wouldn't go back through the apatite bead. And I don't want to force it to go through the apatite bead, because I cracked one here a minute ago and it fell off. It broke. So I'll go through the fire polish and pull this tight as I can get it without breaking anything. And then what I need to do is I'm going to go this way. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to go back through this fire polish bead right here, if I can get through it. There we go. Twist that so it doesn't kink. There we go. Okay, pull these around to the front. And I'm going to wrap around, go up around the ram's horn one more time, and back down. Okay? Now, what I want to do is I'm going to try, well, I better not do that. I am just going to wrap around and go down here. So let me go through there so it's not too noticeable, because I would like to put one or two more beads down here, and I'm running out of wire now. So let me do an apatite bead, or a couple apatite beads maybe. Get them on there. They are so little. They're so sparkly, but man, they are so tiny. It's about impossible to see the little holes in there. Okay, I think I got it. Nope, maybe not. Let me pick a different one. There, I can see the hole in that one better. Okay, I'm going to do a fire polish. Man, they're little. I thought the fire polish beads were little, but those apatite beads, they're really little. Okay, pull it around here to the front. And because I'm running out of wire, I am going to put those right there. I'm going to go back up through here. Pull them around to the front again. You kind of have to make them sit where you want them to sit. Kind of have to manhandle them a little bit. They don't cooperate. And I'm going to go through this fire polish bead if I can. Will it let me? It will. Okay. And you can use your pliers to pull everything really tight. Get Get these back around to the front, pull it tight. You want to be a little bit careful because you don't want the wire to break. And then I'm going to go back up. Let's see. I'm going to go back up through this spacer. Pull it through and tight and wrap around that little ram's horn a couple of times and secure it. Woohoo, I think I barely had enough wire to do what I wanted to do there. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. Tuck it in a little. There we go. And here's what I've got. So you can take your pliers if you want and kink some of these little wires like this one. I'm just going to take my plier and do that. And it gives it kind of a little artistic little twist there. This one, same thing. If you've got some little loose spots, you can just take your wire and just twist it with your pliers, and it ends up looking like you meant to do it. You know, like you did that on purpose, even though maybe it was just a spot that you had your wire a little bit too loose. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so there is my little pendant piece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these jump rings. Okay. These are thick jump rings. They're kind of hard to get open. And I'm going to put this right through here and close it back. Sometimes these big thick ones are easier to just use your fingers. I know you're not supposed to. Everybody's like, no, but it's easier sometimes, I think, than trying to with my pliers. So I'm going to shut these both up, okay? And then I'm going to take my little 6mm one, and I'm going to catch these two together like this, okay? Just like that. And close this guy up. Okay. So there's what I've got. Now I am going to need another small jump ring. And let me, this little piece right here, I'm noticing that the rings are a little tighter on it, and I think it's because the hole is down further in this one, but it's okay. That's going to work out just fine anyway. So let me grab a smaller jump ring and see. I'm going to, if I can find a really tiny one. I would like to, yeah, here I've got some little ones. I'm just going to take this tiny one and put it on because my Coriana chain is very thin and it will go through one of these tiny jump rings, no problem. Okay, there we go. Now, with the Coriana chain and the beads, I'm going to try to create a little bit of a floating effect. That's why you needed the crimp beads. Well, you need them to finish your chain, but you also needed them for this part. I think this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this and insert it right into the jump ring here, the Coriana chain. And this Coriana chain is on my website as well. It's in, I've got it in 4 different colors. Okay, and there we have it. So that is going to hang right on there. Now, I want to put a few beads. Let me think of what I want to do here. I'm going to put a couple of spacers, I think. Now, the apatite beads are not going to fit on this Coriana chain. They are just too small. It fits a lot of things, but it's not going to fit those little beads. So I'm going to put a couple little spacers there. Actually, I might do another one on each side. So let me go ahead and do that. Come on now, get on there. The spacers should go on there no problem. Most beads will fit on this, but those little apatite beads, there is no way. I mean, you would have a hard time finding some head pins that those, and eye pins that those would fit on, because they are so tiny. I wish they would fit on this, but they're just too little. This is 0.8mm, so it's very thin, but not as thin as those little things are. Okay, now, I'm going to do one of my 8mm beads, just like this. and look at it and see how it looks. Sometimes I don't like to put the big beads on down too close to the pendant. So let me look at it. Actually, I think I like that though. Now, I'm going to do something with these wavy spacers. So I'm going to take one and put it on to where the back part of it is going to hit this bead, and then I'm going to take another one and I'm going to put it to where the cupped part faces the one that I just put on. And if you look, it's going to make them sit kind of just funky, and I like that. I think it's a really cool look. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like this, the back facing the bead that I just had on there. And then I'm going to put this one on with the cupped part facing the one I just put on. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Alright. Now, I don't think these little fire polish beads may fit on here. Sometimes they will. Yeah, it looks like they're going to. Okay. So what I need to do, what I wanted to do with this is create kind of a floating effect. So it would almost look like this up on here. So I do like this. I'm going to put a fire polish bead on each side, one of these little ones. Let me do that real quick. And then we're going to put a couple crimp beads and crimp it just so that everything we've got on there stays where we want it to stay. So scoot him down. Put another one on here. My throat is starting to get scratchy. This is like my third tutorial that I've filmed tonight, so I've done a lot of talking. And we've talked all afternoon. We went and saw houses tonight, so a lot of talking today. Okay, so I'm going to get my chain ends even, and I'm going to get my whole pendant to where, my whole set here to where it's in the middle of my chains. So I want it to be even on both sides. And when I get that done, then I'm going to put a crimp bead on each one, on each side. Okay. I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to just go ahead and crimp it flat. I'm not going to use crimping pliers. I'm just going to crimp it flat. But one thing that you want to do is make sure that you don't crimp this too tight. I mean, you want to crimp it tight. You don't want it floating, running around on your chain, but you want it to have enough room to where it's not like pinned in, like it has just a tad bit of movement, okay? So go ahead and do that. Get your little, there we go. And there's what we've got. Cool. Okay. Now, I'm going to skip about 1.5 inches, and I'm going to put another crimp bead on each side. I'm just going to eyeball this to see where I want it to go. So let's put him on. And right about where he is exactly where I want him to go. So I'm just going to crimp him down and do the same on the other side. I don't know what size these crimp beads are. These are crimp beads that were given to me, and they were all just in a container together. So I'm really not sure as to what size they are, but they look to me to be about, well, these little spacers are 2 millimeters, so these crimp beads are probably 1.5 to 2 millimeters. Okay, so let's line this guy up with the other one. Just like that. Oh, there's a gnat in here. Okay. And then I'm just going to crimp this one down too. Okay, just like that. All those little crimps are going to do is keep your beads where you put them, so they kind of look like they've got the floating thing going on. Now, I'm going to do a spacer. On each side. Just like this. I can get that guy on there. Okay, and a fire polish bead on each side. Where is the hole? There it is. Can't even see it. Can't even find the hole in there. Fire polish bead on each side. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay. And sometimes the fire polish beads, you have to kind of make them come down on the chain, but they will go usually. Alright, now I'm going to do the spacer facing, the cupped part facing down. And then I'm going to do one with the cupped part facing up. I'm going to use another 8mm fire polish bead. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing again, cupped part facing down with the spacer bead, cupped part facing up, and I'll do another one, another fire polish. I'm just doing 2 sets of the same thing, cupped part facing down and cupped part facing up. Okay, if I can get it on there. There we go. Yeah, and then I'm going to do another fire polish bead. Okay. Another spacer. And one more crimp bead. Okay. And then you're just going to crimp this section just like we did the other one. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. So spacer facing down, spacer facing up, fire polish bead, spacer facing down. I love these bent spacers. They are so cool. Spacer facing up, another fire polish bead, spacer facing down, spacer facing up, the small fire polish, okay, the little spacer bead, come on now, and then another crimp, little crimp bead here. Oh, I got fuzz or Sebastian fur maybe. Okay, and then you just bring it down and you crimp it. And here is what we have so far. Let me move these little apatite beads are going to end up in the floor if I'm not careful. So here's what we have so far. So I can, if I want to, go on up and do another set. I don't think I want to though. I think I just kind of like it like this because it's kind of simple like this. Yeah, I don't think it really needs much more. I'm going to leave it. So what I'm going to do to close, I don't know, maybe I should do one more. Ugh, it's hard to decide. Yeah, I think I will do one more. Okay, just because I'm afraid it's going to... No, I'm not. I like it like this. Okay. I'm not giving in to the pressure. I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, so time to finish it off. Let's put our clamshell... Well, let me hold it up to me first and see where it hangs. That's important. And that is pretty good. I'm just going to trim a little bit off each side. I've got it just a tad too long, but not much too long. Okay. I think that'll be better. Yes, it will. Okay. Alright, so the way we finish this, it's super simple. I'm going to take this clamshell and put my Coriana through it. Then I'm going to take a crimp bead. My fingers are looking dirty now from the wire. That wire wrapping, it always makes my fingers look, you know, the wire kind of rubs off the, I don't know what it is, but anyway, makes my fingers look worse. Okay. Which I've been told a million times I need a manicure, and I know I probably do, but I'm not paying for a manicure when my nails will just look the same again in 24 hours. Because I do so much with paints and glues. I work with the glue all day at work, and that does not have a hole in the bottom. And I constantly have my hands in water. So no, I'm just not doing the manicure thing. Sorry. Y'all just have to deal with it. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. But yeah, I mean, I've had so many people, they're like, you need a manicure. And I'm like, yeah, manicure, it lasts about 35 seconds and then it's done. And my fingers, they look just as bad as they did before. Because I glue stuff all day long at work. I work with E6000 all day long. And it dries your hands, the glue does. So, not a whole lot I can do about it. Alrighty, there we go. And we're going to close this one up. Now, we're about done. So we're going to go ahead and take this bigger loop, or bigger jump ring. It's late. I need to go to bed after this. I can't even call in these loops, and who knows what else I've said that's crazy wrong. We're just going to stick that right on there. And I'm going to do the lobster on the other side. Just like this. Close that up. And we are done. So we have now made the pendant, the wire wrapped pendant piece to go along with our little earrings, little wire wrapped earrings. And this little guy, yeah, I think he's going to sit okay. And here's our other earring. So yeah, I like this set. I think it turned out really cool. Just funky and different. But hold on a second and I will put it on a form so you can see it. Okay, so here is our piece on a form. And it's just a wire wrapped little pendant. And here are the earrings. And I like the way this turned out. I really do. Excuse my fuzz on my my black thing. I need to take a lint brush to that apparently. But anyway, here it is. And yeah, I think it turned out really cute, different. And you definitely would be unique if you made this one. You wouldn't have a lot of people walking around with the same necklace as you and earrings. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And if you're interested in subscribing to Bargain Bead Box, I will have a link in the description box below. And look out for more tutorials coming from this month's Bargain Bead Box. I'm just getting started. Oh, I wanted to mention one thing, guys. I have a friend who does wire wrapping. So she's... Oh, no. My lights went out again. Daggone it. Alexa, turn bead room on. Oh, my goodness. Chris has this place wired up like the Jetsons. I don't know what I'm going to do with, you know, I mean, I've got to figure something out with this. But anyway, and there's my finger. Oh, I need to go to bed. It is so late. It is like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, my friend Judy, she does wire wrapping, Judy Perkins, and she does some really cool live Facebook things, tutorials, and just some really cool stuff. So check her out. I will link her Facebook group in the description box below this as well. Her name is Judy, and her group is called The Wire Butterfly. And I'm telling you guys, her wire wrapped pieces are amazing. So you definitely want to check her out. But I am going to get off here, and I think I'm going to go to bed because it's getting crazy. But I will see you all in the next video. Bye.